Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. We have some things that we got to talk about. We have some very important things that we need to discuss. And it revolves around gold and Bitcoin. There's been so much controversy over Bitcoin right now, whether Bitcoin is going to take over gold, whether Bitcoin is going to be the new currency that replaces the dollar. And here's the thing, a lot of people don't understand the dynamics of either Bitcoin or gold. So coming from a person who has invested into both of these, so I can come from an unbiased perspective, we're going to talk about this. Now, I'm a silver stacking channel. I'm a precious metals channel. Gold and silver are by far the safest, smartest investments. If you cannot hold it, you do not own it. When we're looking at investing, though, Bitcoin does have a lot of opportunity, especially for the short term. Most people that are in the precious metals world that do buy Bitcoin are going to use the profits from Bitcoin to reinvest into gold and silver. Because let's look at the long term. Let's look at the grand scheme of things. At the end of the day, in 1,000 years from now, gold and silver will still be valuable because it's not about the price attached to that 1 ounce coin. It's the silver that's inside of the coin. See, everything that people invest into, they're looking at it from the price of it. Gold and silver is the opposite. The price of gold and silver, the spot price, is irrelevant because the true value of that coin is how much metal is inside of it, because the metal itself is valuable, not who says what that coin is worth. That's called intrinsic value. Now, some of this stuff they talk about in these articles that we're going to go over are just crazy. Comparing, for instance, and I was watching some of this stuff because I'm trying to see their perspective. Obviously, it's from CNN, so it's going to be very biased. But they're talking about how Bitcoin soars again after BlackRock says it could replace gold. And that's throwing gold under the bus, and that's why Bitcoin's also rising, because people are going to be transferring their money out of gold into Bitcoin. Now, for me personally, why not invest into both? Right? Why does everyone have to be such an extremist? It's either left or right. It's either up or down. There's no gray area. But the thing is, they both have beneficial advantages beyond each other. So if you're looking at it from a successful investor's point of view, you would invest into both. Or you could even be like me that invests into a crypto that's backed by physical gold. That's what you need to do. If you want to check out that coin that I'm talking about, it's called GSX. It stands for gold secured currency. It's literally a crypto that's backed by physical gold. They own gold mines. They're mining gold. It's pretty cool. But the whole point is that people, they don't even do their research. They'll watch a video like this from some guy who's obviously in the crypto world, that's going to put Bitcoin in a bad perspective. And some of the stuff that they say is crazy. They're saying that Bitcoin has real value and gold doesn't. Gold and silver don't have value. It's just he said it's just a gold bar. Here's the thing. Gold and silver are used for real world things. The physical things. Silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity. It's used for everything. It's used for the computer that holds Bitcoin. It's used for the mining. All of the GPUs, the rigs, all of those things wouldn't run without silver. So they're trying to say that the precious metals, they're just valuable because they're shiny, because they look cool. That's so far from the truth. But when people put it like that, they think true. He says, Bitcoin has so many uses in the everyday world, but gold, it's just a bar of gold is just a bar of gold. That's how he literally put the phrase. A bar of gold is just a bar of gold. Bitcoin has uses, which is not true. Precious metals have uses for technology. Bitcoin is used for the programs that the technology runs off of. So they both have advantages. They both have purposes. They both have a direction. And that's also why these are both good investments to opt out of the dollar for. And that's also why these are looking more as a monetary means of exchange beyond the dollar. Because a measure money is, money is something that cannot be created nor destroyed, and that holds its value from a medium of exchange. See, Bitcoin can be destroyed. I mean, not necessarily from the point of view that most people think, because Bitcoin's actually mined. There's Bitcoin on the blockchain that are still being mined, right? People are using GPUs that are literally mining Bitcoin in the blockchain. And there's 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be created nor destroyed. And every couple of years, there's a Bitcoin halving, which means the supply is cut in half, and it's getting more expensive and harder to find the Bitcoin. Just like gold, it's getting more expensive and harder to dig gold out of the ground. It's getting harder to mine Bitcoin out of the blockchain. It's a very similar thing, but we're looking at from an internet standpoint, from a physical in the ground dirt earth crust standpoint. So people don't really know this type of stuff though. And especially when you look at the ratios, when you look at everything that's on the table, like I know, because I understand the blockchain technology, I understand Bitcoin, I understand all of that, and obviously I understand precious metals from a mining standpoint, from an economically influenced price standpoint, and beyond. So I'm the perfect candidate to have an input on this. This guy in this video, I can put money that he doesn't know very much about precious metals, or if he does, it's just biased opinion he's heard from his colleagues or from articles that he's read that are already, heavily manipulated at that. See, if you're going to invest, you have to understand your investment. You have to see especially if you're investing, you have to see the vision. Bitcoin, it definitely has a purpose, and it's going to be here for a while. It's a global decentralized coin with zero to little fees, instant transactions, and it's stored on a public blockchain for every transaction to be publicly seen. 21 million Bitcoin for a worldwide coin is a very small number. Think about how many people are in the world. Think how small the number 21 million is compared to the world. So when all those 21 million Bitcoin are gone and everyone's holding them, they can set the price. That's why people say Bitcoin could get to $100,000, because in a couple of years, when the Bitcoin is gone, the people that have the Bitcoin can set the price. And you can't deny that. You can't, and the people that want it have to pay whatever price that is. And it is getting more expensive. It was like $80 a couple of years ago. Now, when I started investing, it was $1,800. Now Bitcoin's 18,000. So I'm not trying to, right? I'm trying to tell you guys that they both have value. They both have potential, but gold and silver is definitely the safest. Now, a lot of people on my channel probably hate Bitcoin, probably intimidated by it, probably don't agree with it, but that's okay. If you don't like Bitcoin, if you don't want to get on board, then don't. Just buy gold and silver. But you still got to know the stuff that I'm saying. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to bash me for knowing and talking about Bitcoin's potential, because it does have potential. I would be silly to sit here and just because I have some type of hard feeling, just because I'm a pure or a true precious metal stacker, I'm not going to sit here and bash something if I do see potential in it, because then that's being manipulative to my audience. I'm trying to keep it as real as possible. I've made a lot of money with Bitcoin. Right, I'm going to make a lot of more money with Bitcoin, but I'm also going to use those profits to reinvest in the precious metals. So at the end of the day, I'm still seeing the potential, or I'm still putting precious metals on top. We are adjusting. You have to adjust. We're living in new times, a new generation. Everything's digital. So will Bitcoin be a currency? We could look at it as big margin call on the economy and the US dollar. In March, gold transitioned to a currency. It appears that we are going to be looking at a new economic system next year. Here we go. So the question is, what form of the new system will it take? And will gold be a currency? And that plays right into this next article. So, this is definitely going to be an interesting video, to say the least. I'm doing a huge giveaway right now. So if you want a chance to win a lot of silver, click the link in the description or click the link, the pinned comment on my video, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on this one. It's a huge one. So trading is a very individual process. The more you let your emotions and the chatter in the media influence your trading, the worse you will do. And I've been saying this for years. Do not invest emotionally. Look at it realistically as possible. Do not invest with your heart, invest with your head, right? Because once you start getting emotionally attached, coming from irrational opinions, trying to say, I told you so, and bet, that's gambling, that's not investing. Investing, you look at point A, B, and C, you look at where it's headed, and you try to make, the best decision based on the circumstances. So the fundamental market collapsed in March. Things that kept the market alive was the change from a real market to a virtual market. So, things are definitely changing. Times are changing. The new normal is here. So the U.S., however, has opposed to its creditors can as much of its currency as it needs or wants. Our creditors cannot print U.S. dollars. We are not going to see defaults on foreign loans as we did in 1981 with Mexico. The only alternative Mexico has was to devalue the peso against the dollar. Then the Mexican economy entered a long period of inflation, and then the peso went from 16 to 46 almost overnight against the dollar. By devaluing the peso, it devalued the debt in that currency, but it led to massive inflation. The U.S. dollar, or the U.S. will face a similar situation at some point in the future. Financial assets will then collapse. Russia, China, and the third world countries that are in debt in the U.S. dollars are beginning to see a credit crunch as demand for U.S. dollars increase. In response, the U.S. is printing more and more and more dollars to meet that demand. The U.S. also had to print money to maintain confidence in the system. The government also had to keep their interest rates at almost zero. In Europe, interest rates are negative if you take inflation into account. If or when interest rates rise, then the defaults on this massive global debt are going to be common. The U.S. is talking about another $1 trillion injected into the system. The market, however, is screaming for more money. The demands for more stimulus will only increase next year. New lockdowns will only make those demands even more strident. So, with massive printing of money, it will artificially inflate stocks, real estate, and other assets valued in dollars. But at some point, the dollar will collapse. See, here's what we're talking about. Stocks, it's a fake, it's a manipulated, it's a delusional system. There's no real value. It's going to be, I like the word they used, artificially inflated. But at some point, the dollar will collapse. It's like switching seats on the Titanic. Anything you're investing for in U.S. that's pegged to the U.S. dollar is going down with it, right? You're switching seats on the Titanic, no matter if you have the last seat in the very back or the first seat right up front, nose diving straight in, the first one to hit that cold water. You're going down no matter what. So you got to invest in the things that aren't pegged to the dollar. And right now, like we said in the beginning of this video, gold and Bitcoin are the only options. And that's what people are starting to notice. And that's why both of those are great investments going into next year. So all of these factors are good for gold because gold, unlike the dollar, has intrinsic value. It appears that we're going to be looking at a new economic system next year. The question is, what form will the system take? Will it be Bitcoin? Will Bitcoin be a currency? Bitcoin is explosive today. Will it be a new currency? Bitcoin Grayscale investment is at 30.92. It is breaking out. The breakout is a reflection of the uncertainty about the US dollar and the mistrust of fiat currencies. Bitcoin has more than 600 billion invested in it. Investors are looking for alternatives to the US dollar, and it's just something that you can invest into it all you want. But at the end of the day, you have to acknowledge what is. You have to accept it. You can, because if you sit there and throw a temper tantrum and say how bad of an investment it is, but still live in or invest in that old strategy, you're probably not going to make as much, or you're definitely not going to make as much money. But also, you could be hurting your own investment because that could also be affecting your investment. And if you're looking at it from an old point of view, you might be missing key components, key influential factors that could be affecting your investment. So, when we're talking about this stuff, I'm only saying this because every time I do talk about Bitcoin, I definitely have haters in the comments, and that's fine, right? That's totally fine. I get it. A lot of people have been investing for a long time. A lot of people aren't tech savvy. A lot of people just invest into things that are physical to that nature. And I get it. I do get it. But as a 28-year-old who is interested in learning, who does think the blockchain technology is revolutionary, that got into Bitcoin before 99% of the world did, right? I see things that most people don't, and I've done that for a while, right? The first video I posted on this channel about Bitcoin was when it was like $1,000. People think how much hate I got back then, right? My I guess my reputation as a silver stacking channel was thrown out the window for about a year because I was talking about Bitcoin, and that's the truth. People hated me for a while. It took about 3 years of getting back to proving that, silver stacking is what I love, to really get some reputation back. And a lot of people made a lot of money off of, my videos, but still people just don't like change. They don't like adjusting. They don't like adapting, and they're going to miss out on the opportunity, but that's fine. Bitcoin prices surged 4% on Friday to above $1,800 or $18,700. And this is the great part, right? CNN. Bitcoin is often referred to as digital gold, and now a top strategist at the world's largest asset management firm says the cryptocurrency could be one day replace the yellow metal as a go-to safe haven investment. So they're saying Bitcoin could replace gold, but let's see why. So, inching closer to the all-time high of just under 20,000 from December 2017, and that's when I sold most of my Bitcoin. After BlackRock chief investment officer of fixed income, Rick Ryder, said in a CNBC interview that Bitcoin is here to stay. Do I think it's a durable mechanism that could take place of gold next to a large extent? Yeah, I do, because it's much more functional than passing a bar of gold around. See, here's the thing. It's not about passing a bar of gold around. It's about what gold and silver is used for, that's not passed around, but that's inside, that's intertwined with everything. From this guy, the laptop that we're watching this video, or the mobile device we're watching this on, which has gold and silver inside of it. From everything he's talking about, he's missing the point. And if he's coming from a point from saying, as a form of exchange, right? You can't pass out gold nuggets as the way it's U.S. dollars. That's not even a real representation, because we're going into a digital age. It wouldn't be like that if gold and silver did replace the dollar. It would be something similar to, I would say, something like GSX. It would be something digital that's backed by gold, kind of like the US dollar was, but not with paper currency. It's going to be an adjustment. There's going to definitely be a lot of rough draft material. Nobody knows exactly what would happen. I don't realistically see, going back to like silver and gold coins, because I don't think the new form of money is going to be physical anymore. Do I still think gold and silver have a future? Of course. And it doesn't even have to be. Why can't they exist in the same world? Why does gold have to be, quote unquote, the money we use? Gold and silver, especially silver, is more of an asset than a commodity, in my opinion, especially silver, right? Gold is more for money. It's a monetary metal. Silver is more of an industrial metal. So I don't see why everyone has to be so black and white about it. But anyways, what do you think about this stuff? It's definitely interesting. Only time will tell. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said, definitely need to go check out the video I posted earlier today. And you definitely need to go enter my giveaway if you want a chance to win a lot of silver. If you want even more of a chance to win silver, click the join button next to the subscribe button to become a member. I'm going to be doing a members only giveaway, giving away a Lunar Series 2 1 ounce silver Year of the Dragon BU. One of the most collectible, highly sought after coins in the whole entire silver stacking world. And you have probably like a 1 out of 30 chance of winning that coin. So the odds are definitely in your favor. So click the join button. You also have a members only lobby. You have a custom badge next to your name, so on and so forth. A lot of stuff. It's only $4.99 a month. It's also a great way to just support me and what I do. So the link to these 2 articles will be in the description if you want to check them out yourself. Like I always say, do your homework. right? Just because I'm saying this stuff, still research Bitcoin, research this stuff, especially if you aren't as if you aren't as educated as you think you need to be. Maybe if you are going to look into Bitcoin, or if you're, whatever the case is, look into it more. Don't come from a biased opinion if you don't know much about it. See, the people that bash Bitcoin, most of them haven't even researched into it to know what it does or how it represents or what the blockchain is or how revolutionary it is. They just deem it off because it's digital, and that's not really fair. Especially, it's not very smart as from an investor's perspective as well. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like I said, like the video, subscribe. I post daily videos. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.